Donald Trump has never been more panicked than he is right now because not only is his MAGA crowd turning against him, but so are those in his administration, both publicly, as we see with Kash Patel and Dan Bongino, but even worse, privately, stabbing Donald Trump in the back, sharing secrets of how scared he is. And we saw that today as a new leaked call out of Trump is blowing up this Epstein scandal in a way that shows how broken MAGA is. We're going to get into it all, but before we do, if I could quickly ask you to leave a like on this video, and if you haven't already, and you enjoy our channel, to hit that subscribe button because it goes a long way in supporting our work. Now, before we can get into how this call is blowing everything up for Trump, we got to start with a bit of the panic that actually revealed it all.
But there are other social media influencers like Benny Johnson and the like who took to Twitter X over the weekend, really trashing President Trump, which we never see before, accusing him of hiding things, accusing him of not being honest about this list. And Trump's efforts to try to quell this storm, his Truth Social post, nearly 1,000 words over the weekend, did exactly the opposite. I mean, Truth Social, let's remember, this is a Donald Trump created and owned platform. This is the first time I've ever seen him be ratioed, meaning he got more comments, in this case, almost overwhelmingly negative comments, than he got likes and approval, stamps of approval for that post. There's real anger here. And as you noted, Joe, his post had so many, suggesting that there was no list, but yet it was written by the Democrats. He was talking out of both sides of his mouth. And I'm told, back to you guys here, there's some real panic in the White House right now. A lot of people have gone quiet. A lot of people have gone dark, but they recognize, those that are talking recognize right now, this is a problem. It's a first time they've had a problem like this, and they don't think it's going to go away anytime soon.
Everyone in the White House right now is thinking about themselves. They all know that the gravy train of MAGA, the ability to grift and stay in the good graces of the base, depends on them siding with MAGA and calling for these Epstein files to be released. But if you do that in this White House, Donald Trump is going to be furious with you. It's why he is clinging on to Pam Bandy so much, because she is just an extension of him and will do whatever he wants. This clip is right here.
About Epstein. Honestly, I'm done talking about Epstein for the time being. I'm going to trust my friends in the administration. I'm going to trust my friends in the government to do what needs to be done, solve it, balls in their hands. I've said plenty this last weekend. So if you guys want to see my commentary on it, that's fine. We have escalatory action potentially being taken in Ukraine and Russia. We have tons of announcements happening when it comes to NATO. But let me just say this again. Everyone knows my opinion about the Epstein thing, the messaging fumble. I would love to see the DOJ move to unseal the grand jury testimony. I think that would be a big win. I would love to see that. And I'm going to trust my friends, Kash Patel, Dan Bongino, my friend Pam Bondi, all these guys. I'm going to, Todd Blanche, I'm going to trust them to solve it. Ball's in their court. I think that there was plenty of, let's say, speeches that were directed towards this topic this last weekend. So we don't need to spend our valuable time on this program relitigating it.
So Charlie Kirk, one of the biggest mouthpieces in the MAGA media, has said he's done talking about Epstein. The worst quote in it all was, "I'm going to trust the government. I trust the government." MAGA nonstop for decades now has told you not to believe any institutions. Do not believe science. Do not believe those in higher education. Don't believe research. Don't believe facts. Don't trust the government. Everything is against you. Everyone is against you. Fear those around you. That is what MAGA has communicated. They have taken their conspiracies, warped the mind of their cultists, and made our world worse because of it. And now they're saying, trust the government. Now that it's convenient for their narrative, now that it's convenient for Donald Trump, it's "I'm going to trust the government." Yeah, MAGA is panicked. They are freaking out. And Donald Trump is as well. Because it was leaked what he is doing right now, getting on the phone to try to protect himself. Trump defends Bondi amid MAGA fallout over her handling of Epstein investigation. Donald Trump defended Attorney General Pam Bondi over the weekend amid criticism from some in his base over a memo about accused sex trafficker Jeffrey Epstein, writing on Truth Social that Bondi is doing a fantastic job. He said of his boys and gals in some cases that are going after Pam Bondi that she's doing a fantastic job and we're on Team MAGA, which is the talk of the world, and only selfish people are trying to hurt him by bringing up Jeffrey Epstein. Privately, though, Trump has doubled down on his support for Bondi. The president called some of the attorney general's most vocal critics over the weekend in an effort to stem the bleeding over the Epstein files. 3 sources familiar with the matter told CNN. Trump's calls allegedly included one with conservative activist Charlie Kirk on Saturday to express his support for Bondi. The call came as prominent MAGA supporters repeatedly criticized the Attorney General at Kirk's Turning Point USA Action Summit, a Florida event aimed at mobilizing young conservatives. Members of the president's inner circle have also reached out to some of Bondi's critics to essentially ask them to ramp it down, noting that Trump at this very moment was not getting rid of his Attorney General. Sources caution that while Trump was currently still supporting Bondi, things could always change. And on Friday, Bondi appeared with Trump as we saw in New Jersey. So Charlie Kirk is telling us to trust the government because the government called him up and begged him to say so. Donald Trump calls it SDNC, says CNN is bought and paid for by the libs, but he is literally calling up allegedly, according to sources inside the White House, leaking how panicked he is. Mind you, Donald Trump doesn't want this coming out. Donald Trump doesn't want his begging and pleading to come out. But Trump is speaking directly to those informing his supporters. Donald Trump is controlling the media. It is always this ridiculous lie that it's the left that's controlled by some central narrative setter. We've been talking about Zoran Mandani for months now on this channel. And top Democrats refuse to support him, even though he is the Democratic nominee. Now, you tell me that this channel is controlled by the DNC. Also, it's not that radical of a position to support the guy who won a huge mandate in New York, the city with the most Democrats in the country. I'd say that's pretty regular. And I don't think I was really making some shock claim there. Really sticking my neck out. I think we were just saying what everyone agreed on, that we need a fighter. But that is besides the point. What the point is that Donald Trump is scared. He is screwed. And Democrats are making sure that everyone's talking about it, like Gavin Newsom right here.
Let's talk about the Epstein stuff. You know, there was a big push in his campaign about releasing the Epstein files. When are we going to see the list? And I mean, he rode that, you know, in the campaign. And then
the whole thing has always been, to me, a sideshow. But I thought it got real interesting when Elon put out that tweet. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden, a few weeks later, what file? Epstein and Trump knew each other. That's not even, there's no fake videos. Those aren't AI videos of those guys hanging out. It would make a lot, I don't know. I'm going to leave it to more objective minds. I have no objectivity. I'm not going down this rabbit hole except to say when Elon put that out, I thought it was a big tell. Something's up.
A lot of weird stuff's going on. I mean, you know, and you know, it sucks because you want to take people for their word, and time again, you know, we're seeing that word broken, and it's made me rethink how I choose my leaders.
That was Gavin Newsom on a conservative podcast that I've played a couple of clips of, and I'm glad he's bringing it up. We need more Gavin. We need more Pete Buttigieg. We need Andy Beshear. Start talking, please, about Jeffrey Epstein, Madame Vice President Harris, if I may. Might we fire up the Twitter fingers? I know you don't post that often anymore, but now would be a good time. This clip is right here.
The American people deserve to know the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth as it relates to this whole sordid Jeffrey Epstein matter. Democrats didn't put the Jeffrey Epstein thing into the public domain. This was a conspiracy that Donald Trump, Pam Bondi, and these MAGA extremists have been fanning the flames of for the last several years. And now the chickens are coming home to roost. The American people deserve to know the truth. What, if anything, is the Trump administration and the Department of Justice hiding? What are you hiding? If you're not hiding anything, prove that to the American people. And if you are trying to hide something, as many of Donald Trump's MAGA supporters apparently believe, then the Congress should actually work hard to try to uncover the truth for the American people. There are only two things that are possible here. Option one, Donald Trump, Pam Bondi, and the MAGA extremists intentionally lied to the American people for years about the Jeffrey Epstein situation. That's option one. Option two is that, in fact, there's reason for the American people to be concerned as it relates to what information has not been released that could be damaging to the Trump administration and the friends and family of the Trump administration and their billionaire corrupt supporters. And so they're actively engaging in a cover-up. Option one, they lied for years. Option two, they're engaging in a cover-up. At this point, it seems reasonable that can only be one of the two things. And so it's Congress's responsibility in a bipartisan way to ask the questions and try to get answers on behalf of the American people.
We need to continue to use this message to paint the broader story of how this administration is slowly focused on defending billionaires at all costs. In this instance, the billionaire is Donald Trump and whatever other billionaire were on that list. That's what they are focused on, and they are screaming you are doing it. This is just as much of a class divide as it is a conspiracy theories. I think Democrats should keep that in mind. We are going to keep talking about it on this show. Thanks for watching this video, and if you stuck around at the end, you can drop the blue heart in the comments. And until next time, I will see you soon.